This vehicle behind me is all electric, it's high capacity, it's articulated and even has covered wheels, but it's definitely not a tram. Now I know there has been a lot of debate about the use of the word tram, and I fully agree that this vehicle probably shouldn't be referred to as a tram. But I think within that debate, some of the benefits have been lost. And I believe that this vehicle, if used correctly, could provide transformational benefits for passengers. I should probably start by saying that these buses should not be compared to trams, despite this Irizar vehicle being called an IE tram. But I think the benefits of what the Liverpool City Region Combined Authority wants to achieve deserves further investigation. If we ignore the type of bus for a moment, the plans that are being developed could be beneficial, and whilst the network could never be as good as a tram link, it could help lay the foundations for further discussions about building tram lines in future. So, what's being planned? Well, the bendy buses would only be one part of a wider system that could provide high quality and frequent connections from Liverpool 1 to the airport and both Anfield and Hill Dickinson stadiums. All of the details are still being worked out and a business case developed. It is proposed that the road network will be upgraded and new bus priority lanes could be installed, as well as adjustments to traffic light control junctions to provide priority for the new buses. The intention is for the buses to operate on 3 dedicated routes, with fewer stops than existing bus routes. Those stops will be purpose-built in order to provide step-free access onto the bus, without the need to use a pull-out ramp. This may require an automatic ramp, such as those found on Merseytravel's Class 777s. But the main takeaway is the infrastructure will support completely step-free access. The final routes have not yet been decided, but for Liverpool Airport it would make sense to route the buses via Riverside Drive and Otterspool. This would serve the Festival Gardens development and is often a quicker route than using the A561. One question I did ask is what impact the road upgrades would have on Waterloo Road and Regent Road towards the Everton ground, which has only recently been rebuilt to include active travel provision, but no details could be provided at this time. However, it may be the case that some road sections and junctions, which have only recently been rebuilt, may have to be further adjusted to provide provision for the buses. I doubt there will be fully segregated routes from the city centre to the grounds and the airport, but every effort will be made to reduce the journey times and ensure that the services can operate reliably. Merseytravel are exploring the option of buying 30 vehicles, which would be enough to provide a frequent 10 to 15 minute service throughout the day. It's important to add that this service will run throughout the week and not just on match days, but the service will be enhanced on match days to provide more capacity. This means public transport provision to the Docklands development and development around Anfield will be improved. Just while I've got you, I'd like to say a massive thank you to my YouTube and Patreon members who helped make videos like this possible. Your ongoing support really is appreciated, so thank you. If you'd like to add your name to the list below, then there'll be links in the description and in the comments. Right, on to the important topic, the vehicles themselves. So far, Merseytravel have trialled the Van Hall glider and recently the Irizar IE tram. They have been put through their paces on a number of routes to ensure that the bendy buses are suitable for Liverpool city streets. According to the person I spoke to from Merseytravel, there have been no issues so far with manoeuvrability with either of the bendy buses. The glider is no longer produced, so that has been discounted as an option, but it's more of a proof of concept at this stage. Both the vehicles on test look very similar, and I think are designed to look like trams with covered wheels. But I think the main point is the option selection is about quality and not trying to fool anyone into thinking this is Liverpool's answer to trams. It's also important to say that Merseytravel are still at the option selection stage, and the contract for the buses will likely have to go out to tender. But Merseytravel wants high quality, all electric vehicles that could persuade people to leave their cars at home. As I understand it, the Irizar IE could be more expensive than an electric Mercedes Citaro bendy bus, but a number of factors will be taken into account when deciding on which vehicles to purchase. People have asked why they don't just use double-decker buses, but the bendy buses do provide benefits, such as a quicker turnaround time with 3 doors rather than just 1. This will be crucial for providing quicker journey times at busy times. I imagine this means the buses will be fitted with a tap-in and tap-out system, such as that now being used on the Merseyrail network. One thing I will say about the bus on display is that it was light and airy, much more so than the bottom deck of a double-decker bus. The internal colour scheme was not chosen by Merseytravel, and the bus was in the specification set by its eventual owner, so the layout and colour scheme will differ. Merseytravel are aiming for a total capacity of 120, with the vehicles aimed at moving large numbers of people as efficiently as possible. I think if the routes were fully resurfaced and kept in a good condition, then the bendy buses could provide a smooth and comfortable journey, which I think is crucial. I know people will say, why doesn't Liverpool just bite the bullet and build a tram network? And to some extent I share people's frustrations. But if Birmingham's East Side extension is anything to go by, then the cost of building new urban tram lines in the UK is upwards of £200 million per mile. A new depot and rolling stock could be a further £100 million before the first mile of track has been laid. This means a short line from Liverpool 1 to Everton's new ground could cost upwards of £700 million. I appreciate the first few miles will always be the most expensive, and the more you build, the cheaper it should be. But in the current climate, I just can't see the cost being justified. The other benefit of the proposals is that they can be delivered incrementally, while at the same time the buses can be rolled out across 3 main routes simultaneously. This means the buses could be introduced on the new routes by 2028. While work takes place to enhance the road network, with journey times improving as junctions are upgraded. But should politicians be referring to this as a tram or comparing it to a tram network? And I'd still say the answer is absolutely not. But that doesn't negate the fact that this could provide benefits for passengers and could help persuade people to use public transport rather than driving into the city or to the airport.